So for anybody that's been following the Memphis streets for some time, you might be familiar with the figure known as Hernandez Govan. He is the man that was accused of masterminding the hit that killed young Dolph. He ended up beating those charges in court, in front of a jury, fair and square. They said that there was not enough evidence. They did not believe that he was the mastermind behind the young Dolph hit. Now, I ended up crossing paths with Hernandez Govan a couple of times, and to me, he really presented as a very interesting character. I was a huge fan of young Dolph. It's definitely not something where I feel like it's, I'm trying to lock in with people that had something to do with young Dolph's death. But he presented to me as somebody that had been in the streets. He had got out of the streets. He had been unfairly accused of being involved in this hit, and he was turning his life around. He started a YouTube channel, started doing interviews, making content, reporting on the Memphis streets. He was the first person that knew about Pooh Shiesty sticking up Gucci Mane, and he reported on it months before everybody. Nobody believed him, but it turned out he was right. So he has become a very interesting character in the Memphis streets. He's somebody that I've followed very closely, and he's somebody that, has definitely had a lot of controversies. And now he has just been arrested in some pretty serious looking charges, and there's rumors going around that the feds might be picking up the case, that they might be putting some even bigger charges on him, and a lot of people are saying that it's not looking good for Hernandez Govan, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to break down the detail of what's going on with him, the updates that have happened so recently as, the last couple of days, and we're going to get to the bottom of what's going on with Hernandez Govan. I'm not saying I condone anything he's been accused of right now. These are just accusations, but it is looking a little bit crazy. So the news broke not too long ago. Okay, he could be getting sent back to prison for as many as 5 years, and he basically appeared in court on June the 11th. He'd been hit with charges of stalking, but apparently there is even more to it, and he's even been attacked recently in Memphis. And even though he beat the charges of being accused of masterminding young Dolph's murder, people in Memphis still want this guy's head on a platter, unfortunately.
Donning a red gel uniform, something you often see with those considered high profile, was Hernandez Govan Friday. 3 members with the Shelby County Detention Response Team, also known as DRT, a specially trained tactical unit, escorted the 46-year-old into court.
I'm advising your charge, Mr. Govan.
It is here where he faced Judge Greg Gilbert, who informed him of what he's now facing following his arrest the day before.
You are charged with harassment and stalking. Each of those offenses is
What landed Govan in custody reportedly happened last week. Your news leaders were able to get a copy of the police report filed after Govan's ex-girlfriend called for help. The report summarizes what she alleged happened, causing her to, quote, fear for her safety and the safety of her child. His former girlfriend told police Govan made phone calls and texts threatening to post to social media explicit videos. It's also alleged he threatened to have someone shoot up her home. After officers and National Guard members reportedly checked the area, it's alleged Govan sent yet another message saying, quote, the National Guard can't save you. They can't be there forever. Well, Friday's arraignment did not take forever. In fact, it was over within a matter of minutes. But things are far from resolved as final directives were given.
You will be ordered to stay away from the alleged victim.
This was followed by the judge informing the accused bond was set at $4,000. Govan left the same way he came, flanked by extra security, headed back to lockup. Govan telling the court he could pay that $4,000 bond. The judge has since ordered him back to court Monday. We'll keep you updated on what happens next.
So he's on a $4,000 bond, and he apparently posted bond, but then around June 14th, after he got out pretty soon after, a video went around that showed him being confronted before getting into a fight. Now, I got the footage here. I might have to blur some of this. I'm not 100% sure how much of this I can actually show you guys, but basically he went live. He was outside, you know what I'm saying, with some of the homies, but he actually ended up basically getting into a serious confrontation with somebody, and this clip has been going around. I'm not sure I can show you everything, but I will show you as much as I possibly can so you get the full context.
Oh God. Oh God. I'm in the know. Oh God, I'm in the know.
You can see something's kind of... This is awful footage. You can't really hear anything, but as you're going to see, some kind of fight going on down here.
I'm a hunter. I'm a hunter. You know? Hello? Are you cool? Fuck around with him. 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 Dig him. Dig him. Come on, Mike. They ain't fucking with me now. Stop that. I'm diving and all with it. I'm diving and all with it. No cap. Stop playing. Wait. Yeah. Like that, get after like that for real. You gonna pull my hand, cuz? I stop that. What the fuck, cuz? You pulling her? Ah, yeah, I can beat you. I can beat you. I stop that.
So you get the gist, right? There was a scuffle. So who is this? Well, allegedly, this person is PRE Lil Sammy. PRE obviously being Young Dolph's crew, Paper Route Empire. And the incident was allegedly, rumored to have been connected to, the beef between Paper Route Empire, Young Dolph's crew, anybody that loved Young Dolph, and, Hernandez Govan being accused and being ultimately found not guilty of masterminding the murder. Now, they're basically saying that Hernandez Govan got into a fight with Young Dolph's PRE Lil Sammy. Now, Lil Sammy was already live, so I don't know if Hernandez Govan actually got his low pulled up on him and kicked off the fight. But basically, he was complaining that he was getting his hair pulled. They was fighting. We didn't really see too much in that fight, to be completely honest with you. But basically, he would continue sounding off, and this would go viral all over Memphis.
Oh, God. What shit like this? That boy shit like this. I'm gonna beat this man ass, fool. Watch this, fool. I'm gonna beat this man ass, fool.
So he basically showed off that he was pulling up on him and broadcasting the whole thing live.
At this part, watch this. What's going on here, cuz?
He's taking his shirt off. He's saying we can go right here. So he basically lining it up for a genuine fade, but it wasn't on camera. So he claimed that he left Hernandez Govan swollen, bruised, leaking, all right? But really, we ain't really see exactly what happened, okay?
You might pull my hair, cuz?
All he was doing was complaining about getting his hair pulled. But here's where things unfortunately went left. Because on June the 16th, all right, Hernandez Govan was supposed to be in court for the stalking charges, but he didn't make it to court because he was suddenly in federal custody.
The man acquitted in the high-profile murder case of Memphis rapper Young Dolph was expected in court today. Thanks for joining us for the news at 4:30. I'm Alex Coleman.
And I'm April Thompson. Hernandez Govan was arrested last week on stalking and harassment charges. Braille Brown set in court today and has more on why Govan did not appear.
Hernandez Govan did not appear in court today due to being held in federal custody, but your news leader did learn that he will appear in court on June 18th.
Count 1. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. not guilty in count 2.
Less than a year after Hernandez Govan was found not guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy charges in the death of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, the 47-year-old is back on the Shelby County court docket after being arrested last Thursday for allegedly stalking and harassing a former girlfriend. Court documents your news leader obtained revealed Govan's former girlfriend told investigators he made threatening phone calls and sent text messages, including threats to have someone shoot up her home. She also accused him of threatening to post explicit videos of her on social media. The misdemeanor charges led to his bond being set at $4,000, which he told the judge he'd be able to pay. Today's court appearance was supposed to give us our first look at how prosecutors plan to move forward with the new case, as your news leader expected to see Govan appear before the judge. We learned he remains in federal custody at this time and will appear before the judge on Thursday. At this time, we do not yet have word on who will represent Govan.
So here's the thing, all right? More details would later come out about how his federal bond was apparently revoked in connection with his supervised release after the Young Dolph trial. Now, this is a bit strange, okay? Because it says Govan's attorney calls the timing of federal charges highly suspicious after he beat the murder rap. And it says he's been charged with federal cyberstalking after the Young Dolph acquittal. Okay, so this is the update now.
Hernandez Govan, the man acquitted of being the mastermind behind the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, sits in a federal lockup tonight, charged with cyber stalking. His attorney talked exclusively with Action News 5 Joyce Peterson tonight about new charges. And Joyce is now live for us. Joyce, does he think the feds went after him because he beat the rap in the Young Dolph case?
Well, that's certainly a question many are asking tonight, Andrew. Attorney Claiborne Ferguson stopped short of saying that Govan's latest legal troubles are payback for the Shelby County DA's office losing its case against him in the Young Dolph murder trial. But he said it is, quote, highly suspicious.
Do you think he was the mastermind of Young Dolph's murder?
Claiborne Ferguson is Hernandez Govan's new attorney for the new cyberstalking charges he faces. Arrested June 11th by Memphis police on state stalking and harassment charges, a misdemeanor, Govan was released the next day on a $4,000 bond. 12 hours later, he was arrested by federal authorities on the same charges, which carry a 5-year prison sentence in the federal system.
That is wildly unusual, especially on something that it would be charged and is charged as a misdemeanor in state court. Somebody had to really go out of their way in order to get that done.
Govan was acquitted of murder charges last year in the shooting death of Young Dolph, accused by prosecutors of being the mastermind behind the crime. Telling Action News 5,
it's hard to explain the feeling of knowing you got your life back. And it's one of the best feelings I've ever experienced. And I'm just happy to be free.
Govan isn't free anymore after a federal magistrate ordered him held in custody, believing him to be a real danger to his ex-girlfriend, who had Memphis police and the National Guard protecting her home and her child. The feds say he threatened to shoot up her home because she owed him $540, calling and texting saying, "The National Guard can watch your house all day. I don't give an expletive about no police, National Guard, or nothing." The criminal complaint said Govan also threatened to post explicit photos of her on social media, all the threats made on the same day.
One of the things that we were looking at in the bond hearing was whether or not alcohol was involved, and that as the day went on, he lost more control over his decision making.
So the lawyer's kind of making it out like he got trashed, he got wasted, and then said some wild stuff he shouldn't have said. But I've got the full paperwork, and the evidence that they're putting against him is pretty serious, okay? So I'm going to read you all the paperwork, all right? You can't say, you know what I'm saying? I've met this guy a few times, all right? You know, I've done a couple interviews with him. I've done a couple favors for him. And you can't say I'm just going to come at this impartially, okay? I'm not going to clean nothing up, but I'm just going to tell you what he's facing. This is the evidence that they're putting against him, and we'll find out what's going on, man. But it says on June the 4th, 2026, the Memphis Police Department responded to a domestic violence call regarding threatening electronic communications on Whitten Pine Drive in Memphis, Tennessee. Get my mic all crispy, nice. Okay. The Memphis Police Department contacted the victim, henceforth referred to as JJ, who had been receiving threatening text messages from Govan since the previous day on June the 3rd. JJ was in fear of her life and the life of her child, and requested that police officers clear their home to ensure Govan wasn't present. That's crazy. The text messages were a result of approximately $540 that Govan provided to JJ to pay for a rental car. When there were complications with the booking, Govan told JJ to keep the money. JJ stated to the Memphis Police Department that during a phone conversation with Govan, he had threatened to shoot up JJ's home. Due to Govan's messages, the Memphis Police Department and the National Guard checked the area at the time of the complaint, where Govan sent the message stating, "The National Guard can't watch your house all day, lol," and another message saying, "I don't give a F about no police, National Guard, or nothing. See the reference text messages below." Now, look, he shouldn't have sent, if those messages are real, all right, that's what's being alleged. You can't be sending that type of thing. Talking about the National Guard, bruh, you going up against the National Guard is crazy. Okay, it's crazy. So this guy, he claiming allegedly claiming he's so fearsome that the National Guard ain't even gonna be able to stop him. Now it says, due to Govan's messages, the Memphis Police Department and the National Guard actually checked the area at the time of the complaint where Govan sent the message saying, "The National Guard don't watch your house all day." Another message. So they're saying, I don't know if they're saying that they checked the area where he was when he said it, or they checked the area of her house, but basically there's a lot. So apparently there was revenge P involved in this as well. So basically, allegedly, what was said was, next video going on something, social media posted a clip of a video there. Basically, are they posting it? Let me just check, because it feels like these are maybe being shared backwards. So I think these are kind of backwards, these messages. I'm gonna read them the other way around. Well, let me read this first, then I'll read you the message. It says, JJ reported to the Memphis police that this communication was not wanted and JJ was in fear of her life. JJ provided threatening voicemails and text messages to the Memphis Police Department associated with Govan and was able to positively identify Govan in a photographic display provided by the Memphis Police Department. Govan also threatened to post explicit photos of JJ on social media, continuing from the previous threats made towards JJ, saying, "Bitch, I'm about to send your video to all of your friends on social media and I'm about to post you sucking D on Facebook for playing with my money. And I'm posting you now and I feel sorry for your son," with an additional message stating, "I'm about to post the one where you sucking Kiki ass." Further making a threat saying, "I hope you turn it into 5 million. You're going to need it tonight. We making the news today." And these are apparently the massages. Okay. So it's a voice note. And said, "Bitch, I'm about to send your video to all your friends on social media. I'm about to post you sucking D on Facebook for playing with my money. I hope you turn it into 5 million. You're going to need it tonight. We're making the news today." She said, "You can come and get your money. I'm not trying to keep your money." He said, "You can keep it, bitch. You're going to need it." And she said, "So you don't want your money?" He said, "Nope." And she said, "I'm not trying to keep your money. Don't post on Facebook." He said, "Bitch, I just missed $5,000 messing with you." And she said, "I can give you the $500. Said, "I'm posting you now and I feel sorry for your son." And this is apparently a still image of the picture. You can't really see anything there. Said, "Next video going on Facebook, you eating Kiki ass. Let me send to your mom's." And then said, "I can't get to my interview. I'm going to post it right now." Said, "You can use my car. Please don't, please." Said, "F your car, ho. And I'm about to post the one when you sucking Kiki ass. Joke on you, ho." And she said, "Please don't, please. What can I do, please?" He said, allegedly, "Go die, ho." And she said, "Please don't do this, please." And he said, "On my son, I'm about to use that $500 for a counselor. I'm bigger than the devil." And he said, "I can give you the 500. And then I guess these are other messages that follow on from there. "If that 500, you're going to hate you ran off either my money." I guess it's meant to say, "You're going to hate you ran off with my money, ho. On my autistic son. Matter of fact, I'm about to do a YouTube story on you, ho. I tried to spare you, ho. My last text on my son. Make sure everyone at your job get emails with you sucking D, pussy, and A. I'm going to do a number on you. The National Guard can't watch your house all day. You lucky you ain't at home." And said, "All you had to do was give me my money back, but you decide you want to be a street thug and take my $540. Then you a lady. I don't give a F about no police, National Guard, or nothing. Show him this message. I really thought highly of you, for real, for real. Never struck me as the type of person that would literally put their son livelihood in danger about $540. You got to be on drugs to literally call me 10 times, beg me to send my money, and then you take it. You would have been better off robbing Michael Myers than taking my money. That's for my son's meds. All I wanted was my money back. I'm a real street dude. What I look like beefing with a bitch. More importantly, what I look like letting a hoe take $500 that's needed for my son's medicine. Take it how you want to take it. But I will do life in prison with a smile about my son. My MF son well-being. I hope that don't go over your head. I hope you sleep good. That's intense. That's very, very intense. So it says Sergeant Jay Henderson of Memphis Police Department provided information that Govan had given JJ approximately $500 for a rental car, but because Govan was having difficulties procuring one, JJ also had difficulties procuring a rental car and offered to give Govan his money back. As a result, Govan has been harassing JJ through cell phone communications. JJ was in fear of her life and her child's life, where JJ then made the previous police report. Govan has taken action with the intent to harass and intimidate JJ using his cell phone, which is a facility of interstate commerce, to engage in a course of conduct that placed JJ in reasonable fear of death or serious bodily injury. Further, Govan's actions did cause, and would reasonably expected to cause substantial emotional distress to JJ. Therefore, I submit this case meets the elements of the United States Code where it's relevant, and he has probable cause to believe that Hernandez Govan committed criminal violations as set forth in the criminal complaint, and I respectfully request that all court issue a warrant. So it went federal. He has now been arrested on federal charges related to this cyberstalking. I don't know whether him saying that he doesn't care about the National Guard might have made this worse. I'm surprised. Like, how on earth? Why has she got the National Guard protecting her? Like, what's going on? Are they really that scared of? I don't know. Okay, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty scary. All right, it makes me think, God damn, like, okay, like, I've done a couple interviews with Hernandez Govan, man. Like, I'm like, whoa, like, I'm very, very surprised to hear this. Okay, but we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Okay, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, whether there's a trial, whether there's a plea. I don't know what the situation is, and the fact that it's federal makes me think, you know, this is a special agent of the FBI that signed this off. So he got serious people watching him, maybe because of him beating that Dolph case. They put serious resources against monitoring what he was up to, and now it seems like it's a very serious case. That's all I'm going to say. So let's wait and see. I'll keep you guys posted if I hear anything else. But yeah, this is the latest situation with Hernandez Govan and these serious charges. So I don't know what's going on currently, but yeah, this is a serious situation. He probably, if it's federal, I don't know if maybe he'll be able to get bail, maybe he won't, I don't know, but I'll update you guys when I've got more info. So that's it for now.